looking forward to what all these different transfers can bring in to a program that is already on a very high trajectory.
Yeah, and the thing that I like too is the confidence he brings. I mean, it wasn't, sometimes when players transfer, and this speaks to personality, like a lot of times you'll hear, I'm just hoping to help out any way I can, or I'm looking to, just make this team a little bit better. But his comment is, I'm looking forward to going against some of the best offensive linemen in the Big Ten and getting sacks and embarrassing them, basically. And that's not a lot of players are willing to go out on the limb and speak that way. So to have that confidence to say that I'm coming to the Big Ten and I'm going to dominate the offensive line, and I'm going to get pressure on the quarterback. And I think he even said something to the extent during this interview is, I'm going to bring pressure so that way it helps our linebackers. It helps our secondary. They don't have to blitz as much. And maybe that's still going to be part of the package. But having that pass rush there is a huge benefit. I mean, we saw when you are able to get pressure on the quarterback and they have to throw off their back foot or they have to, tuck it and take a sack or throw it away, it makes a huge difference. And it would have made a huge difference in that game against Ohio State. So I love what Indiana's bringing. I love the personality that they got. And again, the experience and having those guys play at places like Auburn, USC, Ole Miss. It's just an all-around great fit. And Tom Allen is definitely recruiting certain guys from the portal to bring to Indiana. And it just gets me. I have no dog in this fight. I cover all 14 teams. I don't care who finishes 12-0 or who finishes 0-12. But it's got me excited to watch this Indiana team next year.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's the feeling for a lot of people, and not just Indiana fans. I mean, this has got to be exciting for Fox Sports, for the Big Ten. They like this stuff because TV ratings, baby, TV ratings. When you have an upstart challenge the authority, the hierarchy, Ohio State's and the Wisconsin's, people like that. They get tired of seeing, they like seeing the Kings knocked off the thrones, especially when it's a shocker. And Indiana doing that would be a shocker because it is a program that had just sat in dormancy for so long. And then to make this rise, it's kind of crazy. It ain't kind of crazy. It's crazy.
It is great. And to do it in such a short period of time, I mean, you might say, 3 years is in today's world, you want to produce results immediately, but to basically go from, as you mentioned, a team that might make a bowl game every 10 years or have a winning season every 10 years to now having a chance to go to 3 straight bowl games under one head coach to challenge for a Big Ten title. I mean, you've done that in basically 5 seasons. There's pressure on Indiana.
With no head coaching experience, no previous collegiate head coaching experience at all, and to do it in the Big Ten East.
Yeah. And to get over the hump, to finally, what's going to be interesting to me is you can look at this team one of 2 ways, really. Number one would be they finally got over the hump. They beat Penn State, a ranked top 10 Penn State team. They finally beat Michigan after so many years. They haven't quite gotten over that bowl game hump, but they've gotten over so many humps, closing out games against big-time opponents. The other way is, okay, now they're no longer going to be the hunter. They are the hunted. I mean, that's the way it is. That's how quickly this stuff can turn around. Michigan's going to want to get revenge. Penn State is absolutely going to want to get revenge. So it's going to be a little bit of a different feel in that locker room than it was the past 2 seasons when they were still the hunters. It's going to be interesting to see whether Indiana getting over that hump gives these players a ton of confidence and they go out and they perform, or if they don't show up to the occasion when they're going to get team's best shot. When they know, okay, we can't just roll our helmets out against Indiana. We're going to have to go play. And by the way, we've got revenge on our minds. So it's a fascinating 5th season for Tom Allen, in my opinion.
Not only that, now it's time to see the recruiting fruits. They have not had that yet. That has not transferred over to recruiting yet. But I don't know what else they would be waiting on because they're winning. They're developing players. You got 2 and 3 stars that are coming in, becoming All-Americans. So but I think they need the big time talent from within the state. If you can't get the big time talent from within your own state, I don't know how you expect to get it, further away from you. But they're doing that more and more. But man, I want to see him get that first 5-star just to see how that starts to change things even more, because there's more to be changed.
Well, part of it too is we got to remember that the NCAA did allow all these players to retain an extra year of eligibility. So you have some super seniors coming back that otherwise wouldn't be returning. So that limits the size of your recruiting class. And then I think Tom Allen knows in the back of his mind, if I can get a guy through the transfer portal who has experience, I need to address these concerns. I think you're going to take that risk. I mean, that's the way college football is going. I think that 2020 we'll see more guys in the transfer portal than any other year, just because of the unique circumstances the pandemic presented. So I think I think Indiana's recruiting, it kind of went up under Tom Allen, and then it took a little bit of a dive, but I think that has a lot to do with so many guys returning, so many super seniors coming back, that I think that they took it easy on the recruiting trail this year. Now, what happens with Dylan McCullough, Charlton Warren? Obviously, Tom Allen's still a really good recruiter. Some of these new assistant coaches with SEC ties, with ties to the state of Georgia, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, with Kevin Peoples, they're going to have access to a lot of really, really good players. And so I think you're going to start to see a lot more 4-star, maybe get that 5-star in this recruiting class, especially if Indiana is challenging Ohio State for a Big Ten East title.